So, and the judges have this in mind now, that they must turn every stone, so that by the time they pass their judgments, no one will have the cause to say they are biased, they are this, or they are actually on one side. So with that, they will be extra careful in picking all the evidences. And why I now said it would be easy for them is because the IRF is actually there. And apart from that, we now have a better way of actually assessing what INEC had done during the election. I think with that, checking those evidences one by one, no matter what Nigerians or what the public are actually saying, it doesn't concern the judges, it doesn't concern tribunal, it doesn't concern judicial system. Their concern are the evidences being presented to them. And when you are not talking about the 25% of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the FCT, you see, to me, I am not a lawyer. I'm a journalist, and I'm
for a case that's even in court. I think we have limits.
So we have limits, and apart from that, when you check it very well, we have a lot of senior advocates of Nigerians that have actually that came out in. Let's talk about Falana and Falana and others. That you cannot, by any means, ordinarily, without going to what we are talking about. Ordinarily, if you have actually given a particular state priority over others, that means all candidates will actually want to will focus their attention on that very state. Then less attention on other states. But compared to what we're having now, there's no way our law will actually give a priority to a particular. Don't forget that we have 36 states.
Absolutely.
And FCT. 36 states and the FCT. That's the word "and." In ignorance in mathematics is different from or it's and not just a plus. And or, you remember when we're doing sets theory. So presently now it is 36, and so even if the law say 24, and that means you could actually add FCT.
That is the FCT can actually be part of
24. Okay. Venture, if you cannot have your 25, you have 24, then you have FCT. Then it should be added to it to make it 25. That's just about that.
Obviously, this conversation is never going to end. So we'll probably just wait for the court and find out what the ruling would eventually be. Thank you very much, Samuel.
Thank you
so
so
nice
very
having you on the show.
You're welcome.
All right, viewers, let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll still be joined by another guest for more analysis. Stay with us.
The Kano is sick. His potassium level is either depleting or increasing like a yo-yo. And because the SSS doctors do not know what is really wrong, they are doing trial and error treatment on Nnamdi Kanu. At times they will increase the potassium level. And not only that, by November last year, the DSS doctor confirmed that Nnamdi Kanu had terrible earache that must be operated upon through surgery, and that if it was not done, he may end up being deaf. It was their own doctor who recommended the surgery. As I speak to you, they have not carried out that surgery. They have denied Nnamdi Kanu second opinion. They have denied him access to his personal doctors. Even we here, the lawyers, do you know Nnamdi Kanu is not allowed to see like two of his lawyers together? That means two of us cannot hold a meeting with Nnamdi Kanu. It has to be one lawyer at a time or one relation at a time. Where is the level playing ground?
Welcome back. We've now been joined by Adeniyi, who's the DG Conisa. And do not forget, our phone lines are open. You can call in and make your contributions known. You're welcome, Mr. Adeniyi.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
It's good to have you on the program again this morning.
Thank you so much.
You look great.
Wow. To God be the glory.
All right. So let's just hit the stories as they
Let's
come.
hit the ground running.
Yes, we have.
According to the president-elect.
Okay, let's hit the ground running with this headline that's on the Punch newspaper. It says asset declaration. CBB tells Tinubu others to submit forms before May 29. Now we have just a few days, less than 2 weeks away from, or 3 weeks away from the swearing in, and the Code of Conduct Bureau is asking, most of these candidates that are coming in to all of the candidates to actually to come and declare their assets openly. Do you see this as, because I'm sure all Nigerians have their eyes glued on what's going to happen, because there are lots of, hearsays here and there of who has what and who doesn't have what. So what do you make of this? Do you think that there's a possibility that they will come out clean before May 29?
And considering the fact that in the past, most of there has been different scenarios where we see politicians making false declarations, like we had during the 8th Senate led by Senator Bukola Saraki, when he spent 4 years attending to the Code of Conduct Tribunal on the grounds of false asset declaration.
You see, well, good morning, Nigerians. The truth remains that as a person, I should have been able to know what I have. And if I have them with a clean hands, without any hidden thing behind those wealth and properties I have, I don't think it should be a difficult thing for me to make declaration to the public. So, and by now, I should have known that I have 2 houses in Abuja, I have 1 house in Lagos, I have 2 in London. So it is just for me to put it in paper, and it is not left for that agency to not go and verify whether or not. And it is also left for the intelligence department, either from DSSS, FBI, and others, EFCC, to not go and they kind of do their investigation based on what I submit. So, but we are saying, as Nigerians and as citizens, that every elected public officer, every elected public person that is going to serve us from May 29 for 4 years should be able to submit details of his or her asset.
Okay. Now, talking about this asset declaration, the question is, what difference does it make? When you declare assets when you're coming in, do you declare your assets when you're leaving the office? Now,
when you declare your assets, there's going to, you see, that agency is empowered to do a follow-up on what you got after you come in and when you are going. Now, the fact is that this is where it makes easy to monitor those that loot. But because of the kind and types of country we find ourselves today, it is difficult to kind of make this agency to work effectively as its mandate was given, because some of these persons that are there, some people place them there, so they are answerable to those that put them in that office, not to Nigerian citizens. And this is where we're having problem. So if this agency has actually been working well and working effectively, by now, some persons that even contested this last election that will be sworn in any moment from now are not even qualified to contest. They should have been under the net of EFCC or ICPC. So, but because we don't have a country that has effective question and do follow up, that is why we are where we are as a country. So, we are saying in other way around that the public bureau,
the Code of
Conduct Bureau should actually wake up and look beyond what they gain as individuals, but as what Nigeria as a country will benefit. If this agency should sit up, I want to tell you, what that will recover back for this country will be enough to take this country in the next 20 years.
All right. Because of our time that's fast spent, let's move on to other story. This one is about Senate presidency. And on the Punch newspaper, it says protest as Northwest backs Akpabio for Senate presidency. Now, there are speculations of the Senate presidency being zoned to the south-south. Now the southeast is also complaining. They're kicking against it, and the northwest, I can see there's a protest from the northwest as they back Akpabio for the Senate presidency. What do you make of this? Should it be about which particular part of the country has contributed the most, or who's more capable?
You see, the truth remains that you see, if we are saying that we are one Nigeria, and to make this country, from my own view and the view of other citizens of the country that have been able to interface with, you see, the issue of Senate president, yes, we would have wished that the southeast should produce the next Senate president, but they have done it severally. And you now see that some of them had issues of impeachment, issue of petition and others as at when they were elected as Senate president. So if you go and check the history from 1990 date, the southeast has done more of Senate president than any other region. That is the truth. So, but for the sake of equity and justice, because the southeast will now see it from this perspective of this just changed. We do not have the presidency, and we are not having the Senate president. Neither do we have the vice president. So now, but if we also go in and look at the south, yes, Akpabio has the capacity. He has been in the Senate, and he understands the nitty-gritty of the system in the Senate. So, and also there are some that have returned back to the national the 10th Senate, that are from the southeast, who also have that capacity. But you see, party also have their way of doing their things. So for the party to be looking inward towards south, it is a personal arrangement within the party cycle. But the fact remains that there should be considerate, so that the southeast will not feel that are we not part of the country anymore. So the party, from the party line, they should be very careful. So because a lot of outsiders will begin to read meanings to whatsoever happen. If they don't have Senate president, they don't have a speaker House of Rep, automatically they will definitely feel marginalized. Exactly, that are we not part of Nigeria as a country.
And on that note, being a security expert, there's no way we can ever have you on the program, and we don't delve a little bit into security matters. And on that note, we'll be looking at the exploit of Abuja policemen as they freed about 58 victims from kidnappers den in Abuja. That story is on page 5 of the Punch newspaper. But then I want to look at it from another perspective. There has been so many calls for more recruitment into the various forces, and most recently there has been this agitation for the sanctioning of the Peace Corps into one of the paramilitary arms of the government. But then, don't you think this would be a duplication of the duties of other agencies like the National Security and Civil Defense Corps?
Yeah, the truth remains that first of all, we have to appreciate the successes that the Nigerian police made during the last week, and in fact that intelligence gathering was an effective one, based on movement within that territory, strange faces going into that bush and all that, and the communities leaders within that terrain have to really be bold and report to the security agencies. They mobbed that area and they made that successes. And to be candid with you, that the issue of Peace Corps, I want to say here that before the 2019 presidential election, President Muhammadu Buhari promised Nigerian youth that he will be handing over power to a youth when he will be leaving. You see, from 2014 to date, and when he ran for the second time again, there have been this agitation that that youths have been marginalized, and there have not been any ground whereby the youth has been empowered in the last 80 years. So, and Nigerian Peace Corps being a body that grew from the youth perspective, and all the personnel are trained from scratch for the past 24 years. For the past 24 years, as in, do you know what it takes for you to have passed through training, scrutiny, seminars, re-seminars, and you are already equipped to carry out a duty and function. You've been effective in terms of volunteerism. So you see, the Peace Corps job and duty is different from what other security agencies are doing. Okay. You see, monitoring and guiding our schools goes a very long way. Today, I want to tell you, if our primary and secondary and tertiary institution is not properly monitored by an agency that can open all eyes on it, in the next 10-15 years, we might not have an institution that a sane person will go into. The level of illicit drugs in our primary and secondary school today is getting out of hand. And because of that, we from our own perspective are pleading to President Muhammadu Buhari that because he did not at the end find a way of handing all power to Nigerian youth as president, give Nigerian youth Peace Corps.
Thank you very much, Adeniyi, for your time.
Absolutely.
Quite a lot that's still needed to be talked about, but our time has played a fast one on us, and we really do hope we'd have other times to be able to discuss more in details. And on that note, Adeniyi has made his call to the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, to do the needful. We round up here. We call it a day from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN TV on your #1 press program, on your #1 newspaper program. My name remains Francis Adeniyi. Do well to have a beautiful day ahead.
And I am Olamide Alhassan. Have a great day ahead.